皆さんどうも、本日は海外2期の動画を翻訳し要約したので、ぜひ見ていってください。なかなか日本人の動画では見られないものなので新鮮でした。概要欄に引用 URL 貼っておきます。SPLATOON3 がリリースされ、まだまだ DLC もリリースされるなどプレイする機会があるにもかかわらず、すでに SPLATOON3 を脇に置いて SPLATOON4 の可能性を考えてみたいと思います。今回は SPLATOON4 が全く新しいものになり、全く新しいキャラクター、物語、世界が登場する可能性について語っていきます。新しい物語 SPLATOON3 が現在のストーリーの終わりとされているため、SPLATOON4 は新しいストーリーサイクルを開始することが期待されます。スプラトゥーン4は都市から離れた場所で展開する可能性があります。新しいキャラクターたちの起源を学び、都市の明かりと構造物から離れ、海の真ん中にある熱帯島にいます。イカやタコたちは長い間そこに閉じ込められていて、島を取り囲む水のために出られません。しかし、彼らは世代を超えてこの島で生き延びてきました。今回はエージェントに焦点を合わせるのではなく、単に探検家として、あるいは船で送られたイカやタコとして、一日のうちに探検をするだけです。シングルプレイヤーはトップに向かって進み、新しいクリーチャーから再び偉大なゼックフィッシュを救うことになるかもしれません。これはミッションベースの障害物コースではなく、レベルデザインがよりオープンエンドになることを意味し、通常の浮遊ミッションではなく、洞窟や岩場、樹木地帯などを探索し、自分自身の意思で探索し、秘密やイースターエッグを発見できます。世界、今回は都市のビルや高層ビル、アパートが高層ビルやアパートが破壊され、プレイヤーはその廃墟を探索しながら荒廃した世界での生存を模索することになります。また、前作に引き続き熱帯雨林、荒野、海底など様々な環境が登場します。新しいクリーチャーも多数追加され、プレイヤーはそれらとの戦いや協力しながら生き残りをかけた冒険を繰り広げます。また、新たに導入される天候システムもプレイヤーの生存に影響を与えることになるでしょう。要約したらこんな感じです。翻訳がバカバだったね。ぜひ最後までどうぞ。
So there could be some way that a lot of them ended up on this island and started generations of inklings and octolings and raised them here. This time around, we won't be focusing on agents, but maybe this time you're just an explorer, or maybe you're some type of inkling or octoling that got sent here on a boat and just was exploring in the sea one day and ended up here washed up on the beach, and your job is just to explore everything. Maybe the story mode single player is simply about making your way to the top, maybe to save the great Zapfish again from some new creatures. This means, yes, level design can now be more open-ended, allowing you to explore unique terrain instead of the usual mission-based obstacle course floating in the sky missions that we've had in the first 3 games. You can actually explore caves and caverns and different tree areas and find things, explore at your own will, find secrets and Easter eggs all over this island. And of course, another cool thing we could get is a new race of villains, maybe some pirates based on sharks. We finally see Master Mega as one of the first few sharks, so maybe instead of octoling beef or octarian beef, they have beef with the shark creatures, or sharkarians, or something like that, and we have to take them out in order to save the Zapfish. That would actually be really cool. I would love to see sharks have a big role in the next Splatoon game, and I think this is a perfect way with the tropical island. Maybe they're one of the few creatures that can predominantly use the water, and we have to use special suits in order to fight them underwater. That would be really cool as well. If you guys want to see more images like these, please check out Alexis Flaum on ArtStation. It's all linked down below. This time we don't really have a big city full of modern buildings and skyscrapers and apartments, but this time a tropical village with tons of huts and tall tree areas. Think Camp Triggerfish and Maui Maui Resort if they were to have a child. Shops can be little huts by the water, or maybe even extrude into the water where it's sitting on top, where the inklings and octolings just have to be careful. Maybe there's like rope and fencing where they walk, so that way they don't accidentally fall off and like drown or anything like that. You can find information out by big over-the-top designed signs instead of giant televisions, or just simply talking to nearby NPCs. The idols could also be maybe Hawaii/luau themed, and Splatfests are still a thing, but feels really cool at night because all of the natural light will come from different colored fire torches and fire burning in places all over the island, where we will have a really cool serenic feel. Now there could still be some electricity, like maybe string lights hanging around everywhere or lighting indoors, and maybe this could be the point of the great Zapfish being on this island as well. Maybe he can give a little bit of electricity to everybody that they just don't choose to use it as much here on this island. With your character, you can now shop for pants, shorts, and maybe even customize your own socks. Right now, you can only get like a certain amount of shorts or pants in the very beginning, and it's like tied to your character's initial customization. Why can't we just go to a pants shop? That would work out pretty well, right? You can also change facial features instead of just skin and eye color to make them look even more unique to you. Hair customization will also be tied to a new barbershop and could also potentially allow you to have more customizable options, such as putting lines and designs in your own avatar's hair. I don't know how I got here, but subscribe!
Yeah, subscribe!
All the new stage maps will utilize different parts of the island and not just be straight lines with buildings everywhere. This time they will be intricately designed maps with overpasses and underpasses, huts that you can actually enter and paint the floor inside, and just be more dynamic and based on different sides of the island and map. I also want to be done with parallel sides, and I know that both sides have to be similar because of the whole, painting the floor and it has to be equal, but I feel like Nintendo can make it that different sides have different objects and different things to paint, but still equal the same amount of floor. I feel like that's definitely possible if they just work on the stages a lot harder. So I would love to see one side maybe have a giant cave that you can enter, or one side have a little cliff that you get to go up on and see the map from the top. That would be really cool. And just throwing out some map idea locations just real quickly, you could have a beach themed map, or a tropical jungle, cliffside, volcano crater. It could be like a big circle like Kelp Dome. You could have one where you're high up in the trees and tree canopies and jungle shacks, cave networks, and much more. Look, it's okay if the stages must have balance and both sides be the same, just please find ways to make them more unique than just straight lines. Splatoon's multiplayer needs new, bigger teams, and new game modes that can play outside of ranked. Maybe new game modes that focus on getting kills as well would be really great, and also big game modes that can have a lot more players on each team, such as like a ground war map with a huge map that's on this island. That'd be a lot of fun. Then we can go over to Salmon Run, where maybe the salmon had come back, or maybe it's the sharks this time, like I said with the story mode, but maybe they're just the brand new Salmon Run creatures, where this time they invade the island, kind of like Big Run, and the maps will be huge areas that we can explore with our team at dusk and even at night, and this time we have to complete objectives while we fight them off, similar to Call of Duty's zombie mode, where instead of being on this little tiny island and confined to 3 little waves, you actually get to explore a bigger island and do different objectives and plan things out with your friends. There could be little dark caves that you can enter and reach the top of trees to hide in canopies until the time is right to come down, and just find different strategies this way around and just make this an actual living world that you get to explore in, and this mode would be amazing. And once again, I would love to see a Battle Royale come to Splatoon. I think it'd be a great game for it. Lots of the map locations will be based on the multiplayer map locations, and it would just be one big island to explore, gather loot, and try to be the last one surviving, or swimming. They need an ongoing mode like this with a battle pass and seasons and everything, and I think it would be awesome. For the weapons, all weapons will be new. They will have more of a crafted look to them and feel to them as if they kind of combine different pieces of wood and tree plank and just different things around the island in order to make these new versions of these weapons, which means they will shoot and play a little different from the weapons that we know. Maybe this time you get to customize and build certain weapons, put your own type of flair on it, for instance, your own camo, your own weapon charm that can hang off of the gun, and just kind of design your weapon to look very unique to you. For building your weapons, maybe you can put on certain attachments like scopes on certain guns in order to zoom in further, or maybe you can change the way the gun fires entirely. For instance, maybe you want to go for more accuracy, which takes down some of your damage, or maybe you want to have more bloom on your shot, but it gives you better damage. You can kind of customize your weapon to play the way you want, so that way they don't have to come out with like 8 different versions of the same weapon. And also the kits. Yeah, this time you don't have to pick a weapon that has a specific special. You can put any special on any weapon and any sub on any weapon. I know a lot of people are going to find this controversial and be like, but no, that's the point of the Splatoon weapon balancing. Now this just comes down to the subs and special in-game. They would probably have to rework all of them to make them pretty similar altogether in power and strength and even weaknesses, which is fine. You could just have tons of different types of bombs for the sub instead of having weird things like the sprinkler, which just no one really cares about. I would also like to see a new perk or ability section, not just perks for your clothes, but actual abilities that your Inkling or Octoling could get. For instance, the ability to do a double jump or to do a dodge dive during gameplay, or maybe a mantle or climb up on things would be really cool. That brings me to the overall movement options for the Inklings and Octolings as well. I know they have Squid Surge and Squid Roll now, but what if we had a slide or a dive? That would be really cool, and it wasn't just tied to the dualies when you rolled. That would be awesome. They could also have an actual sprint button for a short sprint duration that actually loses energy as you keep going. Like I said before, what if I now can vault over short obstacles when I run towards them instead of having to jump, and flat out climb up on high structures when you jump up onto them and you can mantle on top of a high area. I think the stages should also be filled with cool things for mechanics such as zip lines that you get to ride to get up to higher places, or just different types of elements like turrets and stuff on the stages like we had with the shifty stations from Splatoon 2 Splatfest. I would also love the option to be able to carry a second gun. Once again, could be a controversial take, but this would be really cool if you could switch between, say, my N-Zap and then a charger once the button is pushed, which, yes, that means you might have to pick your own special, like I already said, because you can't have two specials with those two guns. Or maybe you get to pick one of those two specials that you have for one of those guns, which would make a lot of sense. But yeah, once again, I think this game could have a big focus on crafting and making your own loadouts, building your character the way you want them to look completely, and just kind of crafting your own Splatoon experience from your weapons, from your character, from the gameplay, from everything. I want this to be a big crafted feel for Splatoon 4. It's kind of sad to think that our current world of Splatoon is about to come to a close. This 3-game cycle has gave us a lot of lore and love for a game series that just started on the Wii U. I'm so excited to see the bright future for this series as people continue to come to this game and love the experience of the Inklings and the Octolings. I would love to see a brand new world with brand new environments and a brand new story to dive into. I think Splatoon 4 is probably already being brainstormed by Nintendo, and I cannot wait to see what grand details are going to lie on this mystical island or new city or wherever we're going to end up, because I'm sure it's going to be great. Guys, let me know in the comments down below where you want to see us go in the next Splatoon game. Let me know why you want to go there, and let me know all of the things that you want to see appear in the next Splatoon game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to follow and check out the artists left in the description down below for a lot of the pictures shown here today. And thank you so much, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.